Billy Weber. We are with Keller Williams Premier and also Fit RE. If you heard us talk before, Fit RE is Family Integrity Trust. It just so happens to be an acronym for FIT, and Billy and I are definitely into the fitness, health, and nutrition industry as well. Today we do have some excitement. We have a special guest on board with us for the first time, and we'll be introducing him shortly.
That guest is Andy Burton with Waterstone Mortgage. As we've talked about in the past, you guys, we want to try and bring value to you in terms of being able to show you the process, answer any questions that you may have, whether it be buying or selling real estate. And as we all are aware that, of course, getting money from a lender is part of that process. So we're going to have Andy explain a little bit about that today, and then also explain kind of what the interest rates are doing and what that means to you and our market. So Andy, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Absolutely. Morning, guys.
Morning. Morning, sir.
All right. So I'm Andy Burton. I work with Waterstone Mortgage out of the Woodbury location. I'm the branch manager and I'm a loan officer. So I've been a loan officer for 13 years. Worked with Waterstone Mortgage for 5 years. Waterstone is a top 50 mortgage lender in the United States, based out of the Milwaukee area, so Wisconsin, so nice and local here. Cool thing about Waterstone is they're pretty big, but not too big, and they're also not too small. So it just gives me a lot of options to be able to offer when we're helping them through the pre-approval process, which is the area of the mortgage industry that I specialize in on the personal side. So
definitely offer quality communication and top-notch service, right, my friend?
Yeah, that's communicate, educate, and close on time. That's
yes, sir.
To our clients.
That's what you are the best at, bud.
We love it. So we love sending everybody over there.
So Billy kind of touched on what we want to talk about this morning is where interest rates are. I think everybody's fairly aware that they're on the rise. And let's talk about what that means in terms of home buyers in today's market and what that looks like for the future as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So can you guys share the slides that I sent over to you?
We are on it.
So the first one here is that mortgage rates, Freddie Mac, correct?
Yeah. So the mortgage rates, Freddie Mac, 30-year fixed rate. So you're going to see on that chart that we get a lot of questions, every day, literally, of what is going on with mortgage rates. There's a lot of talk in the industry, and there can be some fear-based behind that interest rates are in a runaway environment, which they are not. So this first slide is a projection of where mortgage rates are going to go. I don't see the slide on my end. I just want to make sure you guys. So
it looks like it's just coming up.
Right now, interest rates, they're slowly on the rise.
Yep.
So, okay.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, we've been seeing interest rates go on the rise actually since Donald Trump got elected back in 2016. Rates have gone up a little bit over a percentage point. I just checked 0.78%. And you'll see on this slide, they're projecting national average interest rates to get up to about 4.8%. Which is still phenomenal, because this second slide that I have here for you is all about historic rates. I still don't see the slides on my end. I don't know if you guys can see them on your end.
Are the viewers able to see the slides? Okay, Andy, our viewers can see the slides?
Okay, great.
Yep.
So what I have here for you guys is it shows you what interest rates did in the 70s. Average interest rate in 1970s was 8.8%. Double where they are today. 80s, 12.7%. 90s, 8.1. 2000, 6.2. So we're coming out of the most affordable decade in regards to interest rates in the last 40 years. It's pretty cool.
So what you're trying to say is that the 4.8 isn't an issue right now, right?
No, it's not at all. So I think what a lot of people are seeing is, what impacts home prices. So the last 6 times that interest rates went up a percentage point or more, like we've just experienced. What happened to home prices? Jesse, any guess what happened to home prices in that time?
I'm going to go ahead and say that the home prices went down.
So it's the exact opposite.
Opposite.
So home prices went up every single time, with the lowest being 2%. The last 4 times we went up 13%, 13%, 7%, and most recently 5 years ago went up 11%. And we're already on track. You guys have probably seen it in the real estate world. The last year and a half, even though interest rates have been increasing, home appreciation is going up. So
Correct.
getting more money for their
But
home.
with that home appreciation going up, wouldn't that be along the lines of our inventory being low?
Yeah, absolutely. So the next slide that we have here is the impact on home sales the last 6 times that mortgage interest rates increased over 1%. So this really ties in from what you just commented on, Jesse.
Yep.
That home inventory is super, super low. We're at a 20-year low in inventory. I know that's your end of the world, but it affects our end of the world too. So
Absolutely.
right, I don't know what the official stat is for the Twin Cities metro area, but I think it's about 8% year to date that home sales are down.
Mm-hmm.
And they are. And of course, that correlates with the inventory for sure. And
Yeah.
so between the inventory and interest rates, can we expect then for our sellers to see an increase in values or sale prices from what we're seeing here?
So this next slide I have here for you is projected percentage of appreciation. This was the Home Price Expectation Survey 2018. I believe that there was about 20 economists that were surveyed, and it shows that 2018 for the nation, we're going to see about a 5% appreciation. 2019, and then it's going to slow down. A healthy, normal appreciation in the marketplace is between 2 and 3% a year. So we're coming off some real strong appreciation, but we don't want too strong for too long, because otherwise we could have some issues like we had 10 years ago.
Sure.
So all of this together is really good, because if interest rates are increasing, we got to remember why. So, and the biggest reason why is we have a really strong economy right now. So unemployment's low, wages are increasing. So even though rates are going up a little bit, most people are receiving raises on the job. So their affordability is essentially staying the same.
Andy, here's a question for you, kind of going off of that, and of course, interest rates rising. Is there a way, if there is a buyer that's worried about the rates and what that's going to look like over a 30-year fixed rate, is there a way that they can buy back a point or buy back the mortgage rate?
So they can buy down a mortgage rate through what's called discount points. That's where you essentially prepay interest in the form of fees to drive your interest rate down over time. We are seeing, as rates have been going up, more and more clients are actually choosing to buy down their interest rate right now to be able to get themselves into the range that they're comfortable with. It's on a case-by-case basis.
Yep, sure.
And of course, you hold their hand through that process, right, Andy?
Absolutely. That's part of the consultation that we do when we're going over their lock into their interest rate. And we talk about it at pre-approval too.
Wonderful.
So what are you thinking in long term here, maybe into 2019? Where do you see these rates going? How high do you see them climbing? That's something that we can predict?
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of, if I could 100% predict it, I probably wouldn't be a mortgage banker, right? But what I can do is I can use the experts have said that what they're seeing is by the end of 2019, Fannie Mae just put out a projection. It was only about 5.1, 5.2%. So a slight increase from today, but not that bad at all.
Sure. Can you kind of, so we're not in a bubble, correct? Nobody needs to be worried about the housing market crashing like back in 2000s. What's that? Like back in 2007 to 8. With a strong economy, like you said, wages are climbing. Obviously, you're not giving away loans. We don't have to worry about any sort of a crash, right? People can still feel comfortable with coming to see you and wanting to move forward with buying a house. Absolutely,
they can. You know, to get pre-approved for a home loan today, it's a lot different than it was 15 years ago going into the big market correction that we had. Here's a great statistic. There's $1.7 trillion in loans originated for 2018. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, when we go back to the lead up of the market crash, 2003, 5.4 trillion in loans.
Wow.
So triple the amount of loans, and we're stripping equity out of the market too. We have the most equity in homes ever in the history of the United States currently. So people are leaving equity in their homes right now. They're not using it as a cash machine like they used to. And
Mhm.
it's a tough level to be able to qualify for a mortgage now. So, which is okay, as it should be. And what I mean by that is you have to document your income. You have to document your assets and your credit and make sure you do qualify. So, and that's part of the reason why we're not going to see the market correct like we did in the past.
So we don't have to go too far into this, Andy, but we're dealing with a lot of first-time home buyers right now, and touching on credit that you just mentioned, and it is getting more difficult to get a home loan. What would you suggest here, just real quick, on what type of home loan would be the best for someone, and what type of credit score are they looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's some beautiful things that have happened. So we had a market correction, going on 9 years ago. There has been some ability that it's opened up for qualifying in the last 5 years. There's been some loosening a little bit in certain areas. If you are an FHA buyer, you can actually qualify with our company all the way down to a 585 credit score. So you
Excellent.
don't have to have a super high credit score to qualify for a mortgage. So, so the bar is down there, but you still have to have 2 years job history. You have to have a down payment to qualify for that program.
Yes, sir. Now, the lower the credit score, will that affect their interest rate?
It does, but not as much as you would think. The difference between the best of the best and the lowest of the low is maybe half point, 3/4 of a percentage point. So it's not huge.
Okay. So is most of it derived then on debt to income, would you say?
For interest rates, it's going to be program type, down payment, credit score.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah. So basically what we're just kind of overview here. We don't have to take up too much more of your time here, Andy, but so kind of reviewing what we spoke on, it sounds like it is a great market to still buy and sell. Whereas I was under the impression that as these rates go up, it's going to drive homeowners to drop the purchase price of their property.
But the reality is it sounds like it's the opposite. So Andy, if I'm recapping properly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but a nice steady increase here in interest rates from what I'm hearing from you means basically we have a strong, healthy economy. It's a good time for our consumers, sellers, and buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing that we got to remember in the real estate world is people are always buying and selling. They're always moving. Their families are always getting bigger, right? Having more children, relocating to a new area. You got the new job. You want to go after the dream home. Stuff like that is always happening. I've been writing loans for 13 years. So in the worst of the worst, in the bottom of the economy in 2009, people were buying homes. People were selling homes. Like that will never stop, no matter the market. So we always got to remember that there's more than just about appreciation and why you're buying, a new home. So I think that's a big thing to think about.
Yes, sir.
Sure, I would agree. So one more thing here, Andy, before we let you off today, if you have time, can you explain to us, I had the privilege of walking into your office and kind of seeing the systematic process that you have as people walk in your door to get pre-approval process started. And I was absolutely amazed. I mean, the systematic approach that you guys have and the amount of follow-up and touches that you have with your clients, as well as us as realtors when we're working with you, is absolutely phenomenal. Can you just kind of share with us and our viewers what that process looks like real quickly?
Absolutely. So our entire way that we work with clients is built off the Raving Fans process. That's basically establishing what you want, establishing what the client wants, and putting a +1 on top of that. It's built off the Walt Disney and the Disney World philosophy of plussing everything that you do. So
read that book, you guys, Raving Fans.
Yeah,
Andy will give you a copy.
It's a phenomenal book. So we built our entire business off how do we create raving fans, not satisfied clients. And the way that we do that is through personal one-on-one touch and relationships. That means that we sit down with the clients. We meet with them for 45 minutes. We give them a full consultation. This is not Rocket Mortgage. You don't just enter the information in online that spits out a piece of paper saying you're pre-approved. Because what I've found, Millennials, I don't care who you are, the majority of people want options. They want to know, they want a true consultation. The majority of people aren't just coming in saying they want a 20% down home loan. So they're saying, hey, give me your expert advice on what we should do for our mortgage. This is one of the most important financial transactions of their entire lives.
Correct.
So yeah, they need advice above and beyond what's the rate, what's the payment. So
Yep, you're not just looking at a transaction. You're actually educating your clients and what's best for them, of course.
yeah, well, back to our mission statement: communicate, educate, and close on time.
There you go.
And if we're going to be their lender for life, like I have a lot of clients I've done loans for 5 times. So, and if we're going to work on a referral-based relationship, we have to go deep. And the only way that we're going to go deep is usually one-on-one, face-to-face, belly-to-belly, and educating them. And then because of that, we've built a really, really good rapport and brand in the East Metro real estate industry.
Yes, sir, you have.
When we give a pre-approval, listing agents legitimately will move our pre-approval above another competitor's because they believe we're going to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wonderful. Well, Andy, we want to thank you again for all your time and the insight that you've given us and our consumers and all of our viewers into what the market means right now with interest rates. And I think that you also educated Jesse and I a little bit on this topic. I mean, it's important for us to know some of this information that, you know, we can't know everything about your end of the world and vice versa. So we appreciate that. And hopefully we can continue to work together here and improve our processes.
Yes, sir. And there's many topics that we could obviously go off of here. So we'd love to have you back here, bud.
All right. Sounds great. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks,
you,
Andy.
buddy. Have a good day.
See you later.
Yep, we'll see you.
Thank you guys very much and have a great day.